Chats. It's me, Teresa Boyce, and I am here by myself. And I hope that you all are having a great night. Let's dive into what we're talking about today. We're going to talk about learning to love the woman you are while you become the woman you want to be. Do you ever feel like it's hard to love yourself when you're in the process of changing or doing something new? And we want to stop that because we want to be able to release the guilt, stop comparing ourselves to others, and rebuild self trust because true transformation starts with self acceptance. So, if you've ever felt that before, let me know in the chat. Have you ever felt like it's been a struggle? You're stuck in survival mode. I have been the mom stuck in survival mode. I have been the woman who couldn't think of anything other than getting food on the table. I'm broke. I'm this. I'm that. And all of the negative self talk. And it's hard to accept yourself when you feel like you're a failure on the inside. And that's something that I've had to deal with. I've had to work through. I've had to really work through that. So how do we get past that? So I want you to know that you're not behind. You're not behind. First step is awareness. First step is knowing that you're unhappy with where you're at. It's understanding that you're not where you want to be in life. Is understanding that you thought you had all of these dreams and wishes that you could attain when you were little. We all had these hopes and dreams that we wanted to have. Or maybe I'm the only one. And so understanding that you're not behind. If you're this is your first time ever finding me, if this is your first time ever hearing what I have to say, that's the first step. And sorry, my neighbor's dog is going barking. You're healing. Say, I'm going to start healing. I'm going to start healing myself. Growing is showing up every day, and that's powerful. But I know it doesn't always feel like that when you're exhausted, holding on everything together and wondering when it'll finally be your turn to breathe. When will it finally be my turn? Say that to yourself. When will it finally be my turn? When will I finally be able to breathe and take a deep breath and sigh on the inside? I remember feeling that. I was a single mom for 7, 8 years, 6, 7, 8 years before I met and married my husband. And I always remember staying up late at night and just crying because when will it be my turn? Why? I just got to the point where having nice things and having money and being able to have the life that I had pictured when I was little, I just had gotten used to the fact that that wasn't for me. And I had to realize that it was for me. I just didn't know how to work my way through it. I didn't know how to get there. I didn't know how to become that woman at that point. And that's why I started these self love chats every Monday, is to remind us that loving ourselves isn't selfish. Pouring into ourselves isn't selfish. Learning new things and implementing them and putting them into practice isn't selfish. Because we feel like we always have to give. We always have to give to our kids. We have to give to our coworkers and our job and everything. And we forget that we have to pour into ourselves as well. And pouring into yourself doesn't always look like bubble baths and candles lit and music on. That is one way of, romanticizing your self-love. But it's also working on who you are as a woman. That's how we rise. That's how we rise. And so you can't hate yourself into a better life. You cannot, let me repeat that again. You cannot hate yourself into a better life. Have you ever felt like you could? Self love is not pretending you're okay, it's giving yourself permission to be human. Every time you speak kindly to yourself, you're rewriting your story. And here's the thing I had to really learn about this is that my daughters look at me to be that example. How I speak to myself, how I show up for myself, what I do for myself is an example for my daughters on how they will show up for themselves, how they will be. And so that's why self love chats is so important to me. And to talk about this is because we are teaching our kids by doing for ourselves. We are teaching our kids by doing for ourselves. Self talk becomes your self concept, and your self concept becomes your reality. What do I mean by that? Your self concept becomes your reality. What you allow for yourself, what you allow for yourself is your reality that you envision. And if you want to change that, if you want to change that, then you have to accept that. So here's a mini exercise that I want you guys to do. Grab your phone notes or a journal or a piece of paper or a napkin or toilet paper or your kids your kids coloring page, whatever, and write down, if I spoke to my best friend the way I speak to myself, how would she feel? What would she feel? And write that down. What would she feel? And then what if just for this week, I treated myself like I was worth loving, no matter what I got done? No matter what you get done, love yourself. I know we always feel like we're behind. We're not enough. We're not doing, this person over here has this stuff. This person over here has that. What if we just accept that I am worth loving where I'm at and work on becoming a better version of ourselves? So here's action that I want to give you. I want you to have a takeaway with this. And I want you to put your hand on your heart, deep breath, and say, I am safe to rest. I am proud of how far I've come. And I deserve to be loved by me. And I want you to think about what's one thing that you can do this week to show yourself love, even if it's small. Even if it's small, what's one thing you can do this week to show yourself love? Let me know in the comments. I hope you guys all have a great rest of your week. We will see you next Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I will catch you later. Bye.